G-R-I-T-T. Leave spaces. You can write down that later what that stands for. And the second would be responsibility. Grit and responsibility. So we know that there's one characteristic that is common among all success stories. What is it? Grit and responsibility. Presence. You ain't there, you can't be successful, correct? So when we go through pride, you've got presence, and you've got responsibility, and you've got integrity, then you've got discipline, and you've got effort. Those were put together in no small way on purpose. Those 5 words were used on purpose because all of them lead to grit, and all of them are driven by responsibility. Grit stands for greatness repeated in today's turmoil. Greatness repeated in today's turmoil. How many of you can attest that every day brings a challenge? In some capacity or another. How many of you can attest that every day brings a challenge? Right. So greatness, in order to have grit, you must be able to meet that challenge on a daily basis. And most of the time, that challenge appears where? It takes place in what? Where? Where is it? In the school building? Maybe. There it is. In the 6 inches between your ears. Every single one of those challenges takes place in between your ears. It is about what you choose to do. We flippantly use the word choose too often about the fact that we have choices. And we think, we choose all the time. We turn the light off, we turn the light off. We choose to go to lunch, we choose not to go to lunch. We choose what we eat for lunch. All of the different choices that you have, but the ones that you make that are most important are the ones that you choose when it's tough, when it's difficult, or when the challenge comes, no matter how small or how big, because there are no little things. There's only details. We talked about that before, yes? Okay? When you're talking about grit is no short thing. It's not just that challenge of that one day. Grit is over a long period of time. Grit is having passion and applying persistence over a long period of time. Now get this, without the search or need for recognition. What does that mean? What's that? I'm not looking for validation, exactly. This is great. Measurement is motivation. But if the only thing that you come and point yourself to in terms of why you work is this, you're missing the point. You're missing the point. If the numbers are the only thing that you're pointing to when you're trying to gain, you're missing the point. You're looking for validation. You're looking for recognition of your work. And the truth of the matter is, the only way that you're going to get to the outcome that you want is when you put yours aside and do it for the guy next to you. In 1972, there was an airplane that carried 45 people. They were flying over the Andes Mountains. They crashed into the Andes Mountains. The recovery group that had come out from 3 different countries, they came out and they found 29 survivors. So there were 16 left. And eventually they got the word that after 8 days of searching, that the search was complete. Roy is standing there, and he's got about 12 of them that have huddled around him, and they're all crying and weeping because they realize the search is not going to continue. They're not trying to find us. And Nick sticks his head out of the hole in between the suitcases, and he says, "Are they gone?" And Roy says, "Yes, unfortunately." And Nick says, "Thank God." And Roy's pissed off, and he says, "Why would you say, thank God, that they're gone?" And he said, "Because we finally get out of here on our own." 8 days later, they found their way to the end of the mountain. Him and Parado, they found their way to the end of the mountain, and all 16, the rest of them were rescued. Was there turmoil in the situation? Yes. And here's where the responsibility comes in. Responsibility is spelled R-E-S-P-O-N-S-I-B-I-L-I-T-Y. But responsibility when it comes to you is spelled RESPONSABILITY. What ability do you have to respond to today's turmoil that would determine how gritty you are, which is the true determinant of success. Thanks, Lord.